Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Talking Sports Stuff and Things with Chuck. I am, as always, your host, ironically, Chuck. Hope everyone's doing fantastic out there today. I know I'm a little late on the podcast this week. My goodness, I guess you don't realize how busy you are till you want to also make podcasts. Quite interesting how you find that out. Real quick off the top, just as always, get at me at chucktalksalot.com. That's the best way to find everything you need to find out about me and this podcast, chucktalksalot.com. You got your Twitter and Facebook links are on there. Also, all the platforms that you can subscribe to. Please subscribe. And also, any reviews and ratings would be greatly appreciated. Again, I am on Twitter at chucktalksalot. That's at Chuck Talks a Lot. Also, Facebook, talking sports and stuff and things. And feel free to reach out with me via email, at chucktalksalot@gmail.com. And also, please comment or message on Twitter/Facebook. I love all the feedback. I love interacting with you guys, giving me great ideas. It's awesome. So anyway, all that getting out of the way, first off, as I keep having to bring up because it's just the truth, the tribe will not die. They refuse to just go out with the whimper. They will swing, claw, punch, dig, whatever analogy you'd like to use that means they're trying very hard. That's what they're doing. It's just insane. Every time you count them out, pow, they're right back in it. Obviously, the division's going to be out of the question at this point, unless there's just an absolute epic miracle. But the wild card's right there. And, you know, look, got news today. All of a sudden, Jose Ramirez, who everybody thought at best case is going to come back if we were to somehow miraculously make it to the ALCS. All of a sudden, this guy's planning on playing next week. So that would be a huge addition. If they could just find a way to get this one of these wild card spots. I mean, they're half a game out of that last wild card spot. Even if you grab that, you got a long way to go to essentially make the playoffs. I know they consider that a playoff game. They consider it the postseason, I guess you would say. But if you could somehow get that and then you inject Jose Ramirez back in there, just what a shot in the arm that would be for this team. Not that they need it, as they've shown you, because they've done nothing but taken uppercuts and cheap shots to the gut and jaw and throat punches left and right, and still have hung on to where they're at right now. And I know it probably sounds like I'm beating a dead horse. I've preached this, but, you know, after they struggled, every time it seems like they lose, I guess, you hear the pundits come out with the fire Tito. I know these are Tribe fans. They have to at least be somewhat of a Tribe fan because they pay attention enough. But I don't know that they watch the games or pay enough attention in a day-by-day, game-by-game basis. I'll go down this list one more time, and I'll try not to do this again in future episodes, but we lost Kluber and Carrasco and traded Trevor Bauer. You're 1, 2, and arguably 3 starters in your rotation. I'd like for you to find how many teams around the league could lose their 1, 2, 3 people in rotation and still even be in contention for anything, let alone going to win over 90 games. 90 games with that happening. But that's only the beginning. Jose Ramirez out, Kipnis out. That's half your infield. It's half your infield right there. Out as well. Still, we're half game back, going to win over 90 games, and yet people still want to complain because we're not, I don't know, the Astros or, I mean, I guess the Yankees, whatever you want, you know, these teams. Like, we're not those teams, and to get to where we are and to be there as long as we've been is a miraculous job by ownership. People kill the Dolans. It's a miraculous job by them. I'm not saying that it's there without blame because, as I've spoke before, we'll cross the Francisco Lindor Bridge when we get to it. But they've done a tremendous job keeping this team where it's at by managing what they can compared to what the other teams have to spend. And I've also spoken in the past about how they just continually find pitchers. Well, cue in Savali here, who I believe, and I didn't write this down, I want to say his ERA right now is like 1.89, something like that. Of course, people just look at win-loss. I think he's 4-3 or something because he has gotten 0 run support every time he comes out, it seems. I remember that being the case with Kluber years ago. But the dude's got a 1.89. So, I mean, I couldn't stop talking about, you know, the other pitchers that we've brought up over the years and how we keep finding guys. And, Shane Bieber being the latest that raving about. And then all of a sudden, here's Savali, the next guy who kind of, we're so good otherwise that we don't even pay attention to this guy who's just absolutely destroying it. And another guy who we brought up, it's our guy. He's a Cleveland Indian guy coming through the system. Like, it's amazing that people still don't see any of that, and they just see, well, you didn't win the World Series, so that's it. Everybody sucks and everybody stinks, and fire this guy and trade that guy. It's insane that it's just championship or bust. And I know a lot of fans are like that, and I get it. I mean, that's the goal. The goal is to win a championship. That's why they do it. It's why all the players play. That's why the teams play. I get that, and that's why we watch as fans. But I watch for much more than that as a fan. I enjoy each game. I enjoy each pitch in a baseball game. I enjoy the strategy that goes into a football game. I enjoy watching an offense develop during a basketball game. It's not just, I don't just look at the final score or the number of wins at the end of the season and call myself a fan, and then that's all I'm concerned about. I love the day-by-day things that involve teams and following your team and other teams and sports in general. So I won't go on that tirade much longer because I could go down a whole rabbit hole there, and next thing you know, we'd be here for 2 hours and everyone would hate me. But look, at this point, the Tribe half game back of that wild card still. Right there. I mean, my goodness, we're right there. You can smell it. Obviously, you need a lot of good things to happen in your favor. But, the thing going for us is our schedule is not super strong coming up, and Tampa Bay's got a tough one, so that really favors us. I mean, you essentially just have to look at every game as a must-win, and obviously that's what they're doing. We can all guarantee that's what they're doing. So, look, I mean, other than that, not much has changed. So, I mean, I won't beat the Indians to death here. We just got to every game's a must win. I'll be watching tonight. Can't wait. Shortly after I record this thing, I'm going to be flipping on the Indians and watching them and hoping we get another win after that exciting win last night with Puig almost with the walk-off grand slam. Just missed the grand slam by a few feet, but didn't matter. Didn't need that to win. Just the hit, sufficed, and it got us the win. So, different people stepping up all the time. So, root for the Tribe. We'll get more into this by next episode. We probably have a clearer picture as to where they stand. So, go Tribe, man. Roll Tribe. Keep it rolling. Let's get the wins going. Win each one, and you're going to get in there. So, the biggest thing in the news right now, at least within the last week, was, of course, the college players getting paid. So, to kind of divert away from professional sports here for a minute, the college players getting paid thing was breaking news. Obviously, we're in the early stages of this, the infancy, and even though it's been talked about and beat to death for a long time, the fact that there's steps literally being taken now to actually let these kids get paid for their likeness, I find it amazing. I think it's great. Why shouldn't, if I'm so amazingly good at something and I get this scholarship to play at, I'll just use Ohio State. I get the scholarship to play at Ohio State, and I'm one of the biggest stars in the country, and everyone, especially in the area but around the country, is buying my jersey. Why do I not deserve any of that money? They're only buying it because of me. I know people will buy Ohio State stuff or whatever, insert college name here. They'll buy it regardless because people are passionate about their sports and their teams. But, if I'm wearing let's do number 13. You may all remember Maurice Clarett played for Ohio State many years ago. I have a number 13 Ohio State Maurice Clarett jersey still hanging in my closet to this day. I never would have bought a number 13 Ohio State jersey for any other reason other than Maurice Clarett wore it. Now, it didn't have his name on it, and he didn't get $1 from that. But, I paid whatever I paid for it, probably a good $60, $80, $100, I don't remember. But why do I not deserve any of that as the player? It seems silly to me. Or just any of the stuff that I can do. If I can go make TV commercials as a player in college and get paid for it, why can I not do that? Why do I have to wait till I get to the NFL? Everybody just acts like, oh, just wait. I'm jumping the gun a little bit on that. Let me come back here a little bit. So the first thing is, why do people hate the idea of college athletes getting paid? Especially in this regard. This isn't the school paying them. This is them getting paid outside of that. As far as the school paying them, that's a whole nother topic. We'd have to leave that to itself. That would be a whole nother topic. So I don't want to mesh the two together because they're not together. They're separate. So if I can get paid for my likeness somewhere, why is that not okay? And people get upset with it. Why do they hate it? And you get a lot of feedback. One of the things that I see that I pick the most up on that I read and hear when I get in these debates with people is essentially the bottom line is they're afraid it's going to ruin their college experience. not the players. It's going to ruin you as a fan. It's going to ruin your experience of watching college football. You feel it's going to change things. It's going to change maybe where players go, why they go there, why they go to a certain college. They're only going to go to the big schools. Okay, let's elaborate on that a little bit. First of all, if you're worried about it ruining your experience in whatever way you think that it will, so therefore you want to then hold someone else down, I don't know how you can get on board with that. You don't want this person to make the money they can make. You don't want this person to take advantage of opportunities in front of them because it's going to ruin your college viewing experience of your Saturdays. That's an interesting thing to me. If you feel that way, obviously I can't stop you. You feel however you want. I find that ludicrous. I sure wouldn't want someone doing that to me. If I had an opportunity outside of my current employer to, if I somehow found a way that I could do what I'm doing right now and somebody wanted to pay me for it, oh, you best believe I'm jumping on it. And if my current job was just like, no, you can't do that. We don't want you doing that. Or you just didn't like it, so you don't want me to do that. Why would you want to do that to someone? If I knew anyone that had a way to better themselves, make money, I mean, people do it all the time, right? People supplement their incomes however they want. They drive Uber. You got your side hustle, everybody likes to call it. Okay, so if a kid's in college, just because you're worried about it ruining your viewing experience, you don't want him to capitalize on what he's earned. It's not like you've just given this stuff. They earned it. I mean, and we're talking about such a small percentage. We're talking about, the very few superstar athletes. I mean, I don't think you're talking about every player on every team. And even if you are, I guess it doesn't matter, right? But I mean, obviously, talking about TV commercials, as I brought up a second ago, like they're not going to be wanting the third string right tackle. No offense to right tackles, but they're just not going to want that guy in their commercials selling their product because it's not going to help sell it. But if you're Reggie Bush or whatever, the names go on. If you're any of these guys that are just the superstars, why can't they capitalize on it? Why do you want to stop them from doing that? And again, kind of feeding off of that, it's going to ruin your viewing experience. People talk, oh, well, everyone will just go to the big schools and the small schools won't stand a chance. Let me know, when has that not been the case? Every 5-star athlete is going to the big schools. Okay, these 5-star athletes they're not showing up at YSU, right? They're not showing up at YSU. You're not getting 5-star athletes over there. They're going to the big schools anyway. So, the other thing that gets thrown around is, well, they already get money. They get scholarships and they get, their stipends, whatever term you want to use there, whatever you want to throw in. That's fine. Oh, they already get, so that's it. So since they already get that, no more. That's the ceiling. We're capping it off right there. You already get money. That's enough. So like at your job where you work, you already make money, right? We all go to jobs to make money. That's why we go to work. So you already make money at your job. Okay, so then that's it. When the next time your boss comes to you and offers you a raise, just don't accept it because you already make money. You don't need to make any more. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, right? Just as ridiculous as it is from stopping someone from making money off of themselves that they're earning, that they're doing. And of course, as soon as all that news broke and the news was going around, of course, we had to hear from the world's greatest human ever, Tim Tebow, the greatest human on the planet, as most see it. He had to come out and put in his 2 cents, which is fine. He deserves it. But I listened to him start talking, and all I could think of was, who the hell is this clown? Like, who are you to decide if anybody else wants to make money? So, of course, he gave his big passionate speech, and he's very passionate, so people love that, which is great. I love it as well. I'm passionate about a lot of things, and he is very passionate. But just because, he says, I wouldn't have taken any money, well, that remains to be seen. That's easy to say now that he has a whole lot of money. But I also think Tim Tebow grew up pretty well off. So not everybody's in that boat. Some people could use some money in that stage. I know that people just don't want to believe that, or they think that's ridiculous to say, but I don't know. I grew up probably needing a lot more money than I had. So I know that if I had an opportunity and I worked my tail off my whole entire childhood growing up and all through high school, and I finally got this shot at a huge school, and then I was so good at what I did that people wanted to pay me money to advertise for them or whatever the case may be, I'd want to do that. And I wouldn't want to stop someone from doing that. So I know everybody wants to take, not everybody, I hate to use that broad brush, I'm sorry, but so many people jump on the Tim Tebow side just because so many people love Tim Tebow, which is fine. You can love Tim Tebow. Sure, he's a great person. I've never met him, but just because he thinks it's better that people don't make money doesn't mean that's for everyone. Maybe that was for him, and that's great. Good for him. I'm happy for him. Glad he never had to worry about that. A lot of people do, though. And, the other thing he threw into his speech there was, that's why people like college sports more than they like the NFL. They like it because people are playing. They're not playing for the money. Well, actually, they are. They're playing in order to make money. So if they're not making it yet, the whole reason why they're there is to make it eventually. Or not the whole reason. Again, I hate painting that broad of brush. Of course, we all love sports. I've played tons of sports. I never got paid $1. I took my butt whippings. I was a tiny little kid. I got drilled, smashed around all the time. Didn't make any money. As a matter of fact, I paid money to do that. So I'm not painting the broad brush like that. But obviously, in these scenarios that we're talking about, that's where we're getting at. That's the point. But I mean, he's saying how people like college sports better than the professional sports for that reason. I know it's not the case for me. I prefer professional sports over college sports in every aspect. I love the NFL much more than I love college football. I love watching professionals and people who have just absolutely mastered their craft, let alone people who are still learning. I also just, 18 and 19-year-olds, not that it's much better. I'm still double the age of half the guys in the NFL that I like. But still, 18 and 19-year-olds is just different to me once you're a professional. College basketball, my goodness, I think college basketball is pretty terrible. March Madness might be the greatest event on the planet. It really is. It's one of my favorite things. I take days off of work just to do nothing but watch basketball for days at a time. It's great. I love it. But the product itself isn't that great. Just that one tournament is great. So my point being, I definitely like professional sports more than college sports. It was just another thing that he threw in there that just kind of struck a nerve with me because he basically did what I was just doing, which was painted with a very broad brush, which I try not to do. It is very tough though. So, I mean, anyway, look, I just can't get on board with stopping people from making money. If you have a chance to do it, do it. They earned it. They deserve it. And again, we're talking about a small amount of them here. In the grand scheme of things. So I know that I got into a lot of debates about this. I know a lot of people feel completely opposite of that. Give me reasons, like come back at me with what I said. Why is what I said incorrect? Or not even saying incorrect. Why do you disagree with it? So I'd love some more feedback from you. So again, chucktalksalot.com. Check it out. Or again, Facebook, Twitter. I know people don't like putting emails together because I think you got to do it at work so much. They hate the thought of doing another email just to send to me. So if that's the case, just when you're on social media, just tweet at me, Chuck Talks at Chuck Talks a Lot, or at Chuck Go Browns. Either one. I'm very active on there. Do that, or find me on Facebook. Please message me, comment on my posts, whatever it is. I just love your feedback when it comes to, especially that's a very controversial topic. And I feel people are really passionate in whichever way they go. I'm definitely open for discussion on it. I can somewhat see on the one side how you think that starting to pay them this way because it's just going to expand into other things and maybe it could destroy college sports. I highly doubt it. It might change them. I'm sure it'll still be great and we'll all still love it. So anyway, I love some feedback on that, man, because it's a really controversial topic that I think we could have really good discussion about. But now, of course, other than that, let's move on to the thing I love to talk about most. Let's move on to my Cleveland Browns with their big win Monday night to get on the good side of the win-loss column, get themselves that first W, 1-1 on the season. Was super excited, man. Monday night, prime time. It's a 6-point spread. We win by 20. We triple the point spread. Blow out the Jets. A 20-point win in the NFL, by the way, is a blowout win for anyone who's doesn't understand that. 20-point win. We blow them out. Yeah, we're pumped. We're excited. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Oh, people want to. Oh, we're gonna complain about it. Oh, we didn't look flashy enough or good enough, or we didn't win. We should have won by 40, not 20. This just wasn't that good of a win. I still don't feel good about the team. Since when does any team, especially this one, have room to pick and choose when a win is good or not? A win is a win, right? Every year when a team finishes at the end of the season and someone has 10, 11, whatever, 12-4, do they go back and analyze every win they had? No, no one cares. You just won 12 games. That's it. That's all anybody cares about. up. And guess what? That's the same thing here. I know like overreaction day is always a day after a win or a loss, doesn't matter. But as Browns fans, if you're a Browns fan, you're complaining about this win. I mean, if you want to pick things apart and find mistakes and find things we can improve on, sure. I mean, that's with anything. You could win by 40 and still find that. Obviously, you lose, you can find that. But when you win, let's not just act as if the win doesn't count. Now, that's just to Browns fans. Non-Browns fans who just want to, everyone who's just trying to jump on the Browns hate, as I say it, and all, and everybody likes to tell me I'm playing the victim. Oh, goodness. I'm not allowed to react to the people that are reacting to the Browns, who are just like basically saying, oh my gosh, yeah, you won, so what? You beat the hapless Jets. Well, so a couple things I have with that is maybe I just miss it, but I don't notice people reacting that way to other teams when they beat bad teams. No one seems to care, right? Like, I don't know. The New England Patriots have beaten the Bills, Dolphins, and Jets for 100 years. Tom Brady gets to destroy crappy team after crappy team, crappy quarterback after crappy quarterback. Is it not good enough? Do they not count? Is it, oh, look, who cares? All you beat was the Dolphins. All you beat was the stinking Jets. No one ever says that about them. But when the Browns do it, it's, oh, who cares? You still suck. You didn't beat nobody. No, we did. We beat the Jets, and we beat them on Monday night, and we beat them by 20. That's a win, and that's a big win. So to further expand on that, let's look at who the Browns have coming up. Because everyone's like, oh man, the Browns are in trouble. Their next 5 games are against 5 teams that are undefeated. They're undefeated, those 5 teams are going to play. Oh my gosh, that's nuts. Now you're really going to see what the Browns are made of, because now you're playing real teams. That's all I've heard. After that Jets win, you're going to play the real teams now. We'll see. Okay, well, let's break that down real quick here. So let's just look at the next 5 games the Browns got. The next game is the Rams. Now, I'm not going to argue. Are the Rams good? Absolutely. Really good, right? I mean, they might have made it to the Super Bowl or something. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. Let's look at right now the Rams. They're 2-0. You guys are dead meat. No, hold on. Who did the Rams beat exactly? Let me look here. So see, they beat the Panthers. Oh wait, the Panthers are 0-2. All right. Oh, and then they beat the Saints. Oh, the Saints are 1-1. That's weird. Those teams don't seem to be super undefeated. That's odd that no one would mention that all they beat was an 0-2 team and then a team with 1 win. But apparently it doesn't matter because it's the Rams, so that's fine. All right, well, who do we play next? We play the Ravens. Oh, you guys are dead. The Ravens are 2-0. You see how good they've looked? All I've heard is how Lamar Jackson's lighting it up. Lamar Jackson's on fire. He's unstoppable. The Ravens are looking great. Let's see who the Ravens beat, man. Let's see, because we should be worried. Let's see. Oh, they beat the Dolphins. They're 0-2, and I think they're considered to be the worst team in the league and possibly could go winless this year. And then, then they beat the Cardinals. They're 0-1-1. They don't even have a win either. But the Ravens are amazing. I haven't heard anybody talk about how all they've beaten are 2 teams without a win. That's weird. Well, maybe the next game will speak volumes, and it has to. We're playing the Niners. Oh my gosh, Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners. It's going to be in California. Prime time game. They're 2-0. It's a big time beatdown for the Browns. Let's see, who did they beat so far? Oh, wait, they beat Tampa Bay, who's only they're 1-1, and Jameis Winston, that's not real impressive. And, the Bengals, who are 0-2, that's weird. Oh, but whatever, it's the Niners, man, so we better watch out, because all we've done is beat the crappy Jets, But then after that, you play the Seahawks. Well, my goodness, Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Boom. Oh, wait, that's not a thing anymore. But all the Seahawks, we got to watch out for them, man. They are 2-0, and you guys are going to get killed. I mean, look at how impressive they've been. They also beat the Bengals, who are 0-2, and then they beat the Steelers, who are 0-2. But, I mean, obviously we're no match for them. The Browns are no match for them because the Browns have only beat the Jets. I mean, these other teams are crushing all these great teams. Then we got the Patriots. I mean, look, it's hard to knock the Patriots. The Patriots are amazing. They've been good for 100 years, and they still have Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, blah, blah, blah. We all know that. But they obviously are unstoppable this year because all they've done is beat teams that are completely unstoppable, like the 0-2 Steelers, and the 0-2 Dolphins. Oh, that's weird. But the Browns stand no chance because all they've done is beat the Jets. So hopefully that gets my point across. I mean, just to sum that up. So our next 5 opponents that we play are 10-0. That's right. As I said, all undefeated, 10-0. Now the teams that they have played against are combined 2-17-1. Now, my goodness, I could just imagine if the Browns were playing a team that had gone 2-17-1 in their last 18 games. Oh my gosh, it would be the Browns are garbage. You can't beat nobody. Oh my gosh, you suck. It doesn't matter if you won. You only won by 20 and you only beat this team. Hopefully that gets my point across to show you that doesn't matter, obviously. It all is in your narrative. And the narrative that you want to make that the Browns haven't beat no one and they're just not going to be good, that's fine. Only time will tell. And we only have 2 games to go off of right now. And I know obviously my bias leans towards the other way, but it's just funny how it can change no matter what. Stephen A. Smith, I remember actually said before that Monday night game, he was talking about Odell Beckham and said, look, just win before you run your mouth. Just win before you say anything. You haven't even won a game. You're 0-1. You just win a game, then you worry about it. And then right after the game when they won, he said, who cares? You did what you're supposed to. You beat the Jets. Doesn't matter. It's just amazing how it matters until it doesn't. It matters until it happens. Then you find a way to swing your way around that it doesn't matter. Super interesting, and I hate that, by the way. So anyway, big win by the Brownies. Big game coming up Sunday night at the stadium here in the beautiful land of downtown Cleveland. I will be at the game, be there in person, getting ready to hopefully tear the house down. I'm really excited about this game. Of course, Browns are going to lose by 100. Everybody knows it because we haven't played anybody, so on and so forth. Already went down that road. I'm super pumped. think the Browns have a great chance to win this game. We haven't even scratched the surface of what's happened yet. So, yeah, it's a 3-point spread, too, by the way. As for everyone who thinks the Browns are going to get crushed, the line's 3. So that doesn't come across as getting crushed to me. 3's basically, that's just a gimme. So as far as spreads go, again, go Browns. Get this win. It'll just change the whole perspective, change the narrative. Although plenty of people will find a reason why they won, not how they won. Well, they won because of this, that, or the other thing. I'm sure they'll find a way, even if they won by 50. Doesn't matter. But, yeah, go Brownies. See you guys on Sunday at the stadium. But as it pertains to the Browns, since it is in their division, I will speak of one Ben Roethlisberger. I don't like saying his name that often. But, look, dude's out for the year with the elbow injury. That's just nuts to hear. Here's a Steelers team that obviously had high hopes coming into this season. Of course, everyone talked about how they're going to walk all over the Browns as usual. And now here they are. They're 0-2, and they're probably in for a tough year, which brings me to my next point. Going to have a tough year. Look, you're going to be starting Mason Rudolph. You decided to trade Dobbs, so you don't have him there anymore. You got Mason Rudolph now as your starter, who stepped in and looked pretty decent. Look, he played well. Sure, happens a lot of times when a quarterback comes in the middle of a game. Obviously, the defense isn't prepared. A lot of factors go into that, but I'm not knocking it. The guy played good. He played well. But I found it funny, after that game, I got into a lot of conversation on social media about, obviously, that situation and thinking, oh my goodness, Ben could be done for the year because of just the way it looked. And you got Mason Rudolph. And so now these fans that I've gotten into this debate with, these are the fans that were telling me to pump the brakes on Baker Mayfield. He hasn't done nothing. He hasn't won nothing. It was just his rookie year. Means nothing. We've been over this. I've beat this dead horse time and time again. Yes, I was told that time and time again and by a lot of people, but a lot of Steeler fans as well. He hasn't done nothing. Win a big game. Beat the Steelers first. And then magically, Mason Rudolph plays good for half of a football game, and basically Steeler fans telling me that this guy invented football. So I thought that was a really courageous turn that somebody made there, that all of a sudden when I was told to pump the brakes on a guy who did prove himself already in one season, not that one season obviously doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of your career, but now you're talking about a guy who's never even started a professional game, and here we go. He's going to be the next best thing ever. People telling me, oh, don't worry. Literally, I'm not making this up. I was being told he'll pick right up where Ben left off. He won't skip a beat. You're telling me that a kid that was a third-round pick who's never played a game is going to step in and play as good as your Hall of Fame quarterback who's taken this team everywhere it's been over all these years? incredible to me. So I had to point that out. I found it extremely amazing that all of a sudden Mason Rudolph, oh no, it's fine, we're good. Just like the Steelers were going to be totally good without Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, and they weren't going to miss a beat, yet even though here you are at 0-2. I know part of that has to do with, well, you played the Patriots and you guys have no idea how to beat them, and then also you lost your quarterback halfway through this game. But it's going to be a tough year for the Steelers. I look forward to it. I look forward to beating them twice. Look forward to beating them in Cleveland. Look forward to beating them in Pittsburgh. It's going to be amazing. I don't wish injury on anybody. I hope Ben does come back. I hope he comes back next year because I want to beat him then. Because I've already had that conversation as well. I've already had several debates about this, and I'd love to have you guys let me know what you think about this. Is that people are trying to say, oh, I wish he hadn't gotten hurt. And I do too. I don't want anyone to get hurt. As much as I dislike anyone that plays for a team, it is just a sport. But I don't want anyone to get hurt. But the point being, they're saying, I wish he hadn't got hurt because I wanted to beat him, because now beating the Steelers won't be the same. It won't be the same to beat the Steelers without Roethlisberger as their quarterback. It won't mean as much. What? You couldn't be more wrong. It won't mean as much? So let me then go back. So why do you want to beat Ben and the Steelers so bad? Because they beat us a million times, right? They dominated the Browns for the last, 15 years, 17 years, whatever it is. Okay, well, why do you feel bad about losing to them all those times then? Because we never had a quarterback. They beat nobody. They were beating Charlie Fry and Clipboard Jesus. And, the list goes on and on and on. I don't even want to name them. It hurts my soul. But the reason why Ben and the Steelers dominated the Browns all this time is because they haven't had a quarterback. They didn't have a team. So why should that be any different going the other way? So if we beat the Steelers and Mason Rudolph, guess what? We beat the Steelers and Mason Rudolph. We beat them. Don't care. They sure didn't care. They took those 2 wins every year. They took the easy win at home against us every year. Didn't care one bit. They took it, walked on. And nobody said, oh, who cares? You only beat the Browns. Nope. You beat the Browns, you moved on, and you kept moving, and you were pushing to win as many games as you could. Didn't matter who it was. That's where I'm at with the Browns. Would I like to beat Ben Roethlisberger? Sure. I want to beat everybody, though. And I want to beat the Steelers. I don't care if they have to drag some guy out of the parking lot who passed out from drinking too many icy city steel beer crap, whatever you guys call that junk over there, and you had to drag him out of the parking lot and throw him in there so he could throw the ball. I don't care. I want to beat the Steelers. I'm borderline. Would it mean more to beat Ben? I don't know. Would I like it? Sure. Would it mean more? I'm not sure. Beating the Steelers feels good no matter what. They sure took no sympathy on beating the Browns. They sure never said, you know what? I know we won, but it doesn't matter since, you didn't have any, you had Spurgeon win at quarterback. It didn't matter. No, they didn't say that. They took the win and they rubbed it in our face. Ben rubs it in our face. The fans rubbed it in our face. As well they should. I'm not knocking them for it. But I'm going to return the favor, and I don't care who the quarterback is. And you want to come out with that excuse down the road, good luck. I'll be happy to have that debate and argument with you because you're going to lose. Sorry, but you're going to lose. You don't stand a chance. So anyway, best wishes to Ben. Hope you get better. Hope you come back so we can beat you then. But until then, this season must go on, as they say. So anyway, go Brownies. See you guys Sunday at the stadium. So lastly, what I'd like to touch on here is 2 things real quick. First of all, I need to talk about the song. No, you know what? I won't talk about that. I'm going to save that for another episode next week. So tune in. It's because it's going to be good. It's going to be some funny stuff. What I'd like to talk about now is crazy things that you believed when you were young until you got older and realized how ridiculous it was. So, as an example, and I need you guys to send me these things. I need to hear what these are. So think about it. Here's a great one that me and Jen talked about. My wife Jen, what we got into was something that I think a lot of us believed, and she believed it wholeheartedly, and we had a really good laugh about this, was she believed in, remember when you were young, especially maybe like in middle school, maybe high school, I guess. I don't know. High school's too much of a blur for me, but maybe middle school. I do remember it being said in middle school for sure when our school went on strike and we had the substitute teachers in there and we were all completely out of control. One thing they like to throw around was, this will go on your permanent record. Just saying it out makes me crack up because I'm thinking, what permanent record, right? Like, once I mean, I don't know, maybe when you graduate high school, if you're someone who's going to some Ivy League school, and I don't know, maybe they look to see if you got detention when you were a freshman in high school. I don't know that. I wasn't on that track, that fast track of adulthood. So I can't totally relate to that, but I think about even like after I graduated school and, you start moving through life and you get jobs and you apply for jobs. And, even on your application, it says on there, like, did you graduate do you have a high school diploma? You check yes. Did anybody ever ask you to see it? No one ever asked me to see mine. I feel like I could tell people I graduated from Harvard and they wouldn't ask me to prove it. In today's world, it seems that way. Obviously, they'd catch on pretty quick that I did not. But my point is, so this permanent record that we all thought was a thing and that it's going to go in there, like, where was it? Where was it kept? Just at the school in a filing cabinet? Was it in some vault somewhere where they keep all permanent records of bad kids? I found it so funny, and I actually didn't worry too much about that because I wasn't, again, on that fast track of scholarshipness. But my wife, who was on the other end of that spectrum but got really good grades and did stuff, she definitely told me how she was very concerned about her permanent record. That if it's permanent, I'd like to see it now. It must be permanently somewhere. Can I still access it? Because permanent means forever. So I'd like to see my permanent record. I'd like to leaf through that bad boy. It's got to look like an encyclopedia or maybe 10 encyclopedias stacked on top of each other. But I'd love to hear things you guys believed in. And if you did believe in your permanent record, please pass that along to me as well. I'd love to hear about what would be on your permanent record. But we got a real good laugh out of that, as I remember that kind of being a threat, as the you had to be good or it's going to go on your permanent record. Now, I don't want examples like, oh, I believed in Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. I get that. We all kind of went down that road, of course, being young kids. But I kind of lean more towards maybe being a little bit older than that. Or if you had something better when you were younger, other than like Santa Claus or what have you, I'd love to hear that too. But man, like, I love the idea of what did you just think was totally true? And that permanent record one is pretty great because I sure have yet to ever see that come to fruition and anybody ask for my permanent record or even a high school diploma for that matter. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So please, delve into that with me. I have a lot more topics to get to, but I'm going to save those for the next one. I know we've already run a little bit longer than I usually do, so I hope y'all stuck around to listen. Hope I didn't bore you to death. So look, Roll Tribe, go Brownies. We'll be getting into the Cavs before long. If you guys want some fantasy football, I've had a couple people send me some shout-outs about some fantasy football. Let me know. Give me some topics you want to talk about. If I get enough of them, maybe I'll do an episode here this weekend, maybe on Saturday. I'm actually thinking about doing a Saturday episode. If you want to shoot me some fantasy football questions, I can get those on that episode so you can hear them before Sunday, before the big Sunday games. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening. ChuckTalksALot.com. Check it out. We'll talk to you guys next time. Y'all be good, and remember, don't look it down on somebody unless you're helping them up. See ya!